Hey, shalom, shalom. First off, I'd like to say, call halal, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me. Also, I'd like to say peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect, the Akim that's pushing his word in all sincerity and faith throughout the four corners of the earth. For the Akwat, the sisters who watch and believe, shalom to you as well. Shalom to the new fruit, the new viewers, the new believers coming into this truth. Just coming with a quick lesson. And the men of Great Millstone, we get a lot of flack because we have to go into the bitter topics of the scriptures that may not be very popular to this backwards world. And people like to slander us and lay charges to us of things that we're not, in some instances, saying that we actually do. But just on an edification point, we're just bringing it out because that's what the scripture says. And like we were at the camp and the Spirit had, the scripture in Deuteronomy 22 come up. In a situation, if a woman gets raped, what's the protocol to handle it? Which we know ultimately sex and men and women coming together, it's not for recreational purposes. It's supposed to be for legacy and expanding families and houses and enterprises. It's business at the end of the day. But sex now has been weaponized to a thing of recreation, okay? And just a way to fulfill the lust of the flesh, rather than the significant importance of why that was set up for men and women in the earth to be fruitful and multiply. Okay. And that's just one example, of course, of things in the scriptures that we go into that these other guys, they don't agree with. They get emotional. They've been in this Western world way too long to really conceive that someone would have the audacity to even bring it out. But with all being said, I'm gonna just bring some scriptures out, Lord willing, through the Spirit that's a edify, man. Because it's all about prophecy at the end of the day, man. And a lot of these other camps, whether they be Israelite camps, they're trying to push these world-friendly doctrines, man. But I'm going to start here in Matthew 12:34. It says, O generation of vipers, how can ye, being evil, speak good things? All right. And most of these dudes, they're not speaking the good things concerning the gospel, because that's what the gospel is of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. The gospel is the good news concerning the kingdom, which we understand that Esau, Edom's kingdom, has to be brought down before our kingdom is set up. But it says, for out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So out of the abundance of what's in your mind, that's what's going to be coming out of your mouth, out of your speech. It says, a good man out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth Salakia. A good man out of the treasure of his heart bringeth forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things. And a lot of these guys, whether it be these other Israelite camps that are going off in the doctrine, these so-called Christians, they're speaking evil things, man. But they'll try to frame it and paint the narrative that specifically Great Millstone, we're the ones speaking evil. Okay? But here's the thing that they don't consider. It says, but I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. So even us, everyone is going to have to give an account for what they're saying in these bodies at this appointed time. All right. So the Lord is going to make it manifest who's right and who's wrong concerning the scriptures and the proper breakdown of the Bible. All right. Because Great Millstone, we just tells it how it TI is, man. And a lot of people just get offended just at the austerity and us speaking of the old way within the scripture. But this is 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 7. And I'm going to read it in the NLT. It says, for Salaki, it says, we faithfully preach the truth. And that's what we do on the highways and the byways, week in and week out. Putting up these shows on YouTube. We're in the spirit to preach this truth, man. And it's only one truth at the end of the day. It's not my truth, your truth. It's the truth. All right. And it says the Most High, and we know the Most High's name is Yahweh, and his only begotten son's name is Yahweh Shah. All right. It says God's, that's verbatim, but the Most High's power is working in us. We use the weapons of righteousness in the right hand for attack, in the left hand for defense. So the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. We're spiritual men But it makes people want to get physical. It makes people want to get carnal, because the authority that we speak in, just as in the likeness of our greatest example today, Yahweh Shai. It says, we serve the Most High whether people honor us or despise us, whether they slander us or praise us. We are honest, but they call us imposters. And it starts, with our apostles of Great Millstone, the bishops, the men that have labored before us, that have laid the foundation, and we came into their labors. A special Apostle Tahar, all the egregious things that people say, it just rolls right off his shoulder, man. He just keeps, all the apostles and bishops and elders, brothers, the Lord has us in the spirit just to continue teaching, man. All right. Whether they praise us, whether they slander us, we're honest. We're speaking the correct doctrine according to the scriptures, man. All right. But they call us imposters. Some would dare say that, the men of Great Millstone are false prophets. It says we are ignored, even though we are well known. So we're well known, but people try to act like they don't know us. And we know the powers to be, they control the algorithm. It's something called, I forgot the term for it at this point, where they basically, you don't get traffic on the videos, shadow ban, I think. So we're well known, but people try to act like they don't know us because they don't want to allow this thing really to get in the forefront like that. All right. It says we are ignored, even though we are well known. We live close to death, but we are still alive. We have been beaten, but we have not been killed. And if they could have it their way, man, these people would try to put their hands on us, and we know it's coming. Satan's going to come with great wrath because he knows he has a short time. There's going to be a deception, an accusation, and slander campaign, man, trying to tie us into being, I'll just say D terrorists or whatever. We're in that time, man, and they're going to use our own people to come up against us the most, chiefly those that know that they're Israelites. All right. That's why a lot of these dudes have sold out. They're teaching false doctrines, whether it's ISUPK, IUIC. Esau's going to use those dudes to try to trip up the men of the Lord first. All right. But it's not going to work this time. This is Psalms 35:11. It says, false witnesses did rise up. They laid to my charge things that I know not. And if the scripture says in Romans, the 8th chapter, there shall no charges be brought upon the Most High's elect. So anything that they try to put before us is not going to stick, man. We may have to suffer the ridicule and being shamed at that appointed time. But if we're part of the elect, man, no charges are going to stick that they're going to try to put before us. And I was trying to quote a scripture. Yep. Romans 8:33. It says, who shall lay anything to the charge of the Most High's elect? It is the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, that justified. All right. So if we're justified through Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, no charges that these people, any false accusations is going to stick, man. But the point being made is that a lot of people is coming up and everybody's banding together to try to come up against the true men of the Lord. But it's not going to work. So brothers, hold fast to the faithful word. Just keep your head on a swivel, so to speak. Remain circumspect. Hold fast to the faithful word until Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai or Yahweh Shai returns to deliver us. So with all being said, Lord willing to edify, I just want to do a quick lesson. I'm just speaking through the spirit. So Lord willing to edify, I want to give all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai B'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, peace and blessings to the elect.